Shalom. All praises go to the Most High. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, double honors unto the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this video is about Thanksgiving dinner and can you eat it? The short answer is yes. And I'm going to go to the scriptures because I made a video in, let me see, wait a minute, 2018. I made a video, and that video was 44 minutes, so I'm going to try and do this shorter without all the examples and stuff like that. And I'm going to upload this video again on another channel. Maybe I'll see. But I'm going to just go over this one. So let me just get in. And the quick answer is yes. So, but I'm going to show you in the scriptures why and how, and just the reason why you can. 1 Corinthians 8:1. Now, as touching things offered to idols. Now, this is a food offered to idols. We know that because I explained it in the last video already. Wait, this is what I explained in the last video. It says here, I typed in what is Thanksgiving. So it says, what is the real meaning of Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving Day, annual national holiday in the United States and Canada, celebrating the harvest and other blessings of the past year. Americans generally believe that their Thanksgiving is modeled on a 1621 harvest feast shared by the English and the Plymouth and Wampanoag people, right? Why is Thanksgiving so important? Thanksgiving is important because it's a positive and secular holiday where we celebrate gratitude, something that we don't do enough of these days. It's also a celebration of the fall harvest. The celebration began with the Pilgrims, who in 1621 called it their first Thanksgiving for stealing the land. Now, the word secular means not connected with religious or spiritual matters, right? But the word holiday, stupid. The word holiday goes back to what? Holy day. So it is a spiritual day. So what are they talking about? That's that snake tongue, by the way. The devil he done it again. He using two words that oppose each other, an oxymoron, a contradiction. But anyway, can you celebrate this? Because it is how you call it? Paganism. Well, it is not according. It is their so-called holy day. It's a demonic day for us, man. Because it says here, Thanksgiving to the Native Americans. The so-called first Thanksgiving has been celebrated and taught to school children as the origin story of what would later become the United States. But many Native Americans say Thanksgiving Day is a reminder of the slaughter of millions of indigenous people and the theft of their lands by devils. So we know what it is. They celebrate the deaths of our people, just like how we celebrate the deaths of the Egyptians, but there's a twist to that part. We celebrate the death of the Egyptians because they enslaved us. They celebrate the death of the Native Americans because they're devils and they raped, robbed, murdered, and stole their land. So there's a difference, eh? Remember that part. They enslaved us for 400 years. Of course, we need to celebrate when you die. But they have nothing to celebrate except the exalting of Satan, which is their God. Now, going back to over here, 1 Corinthians 8:1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. Charity edifieth, right? Charity is what is not specifically the thing of putting money for a group to, for example, charity for cancer or whatever. That money doesn't even go to that thing. How many years have these devils been fighting this so-called cancer? They put that money in their pocket. Charity, the definition of charity is basically to cherish, to charite, dear, to have, basically to show love. That's the point. Right? And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know, especially when it comes to the scriptures. They don't know what they're supposed to know. But if any man love the Heavenly Father, the same is known of him, right? So you are known of the Lord if you love the Lord. People will look at you and be like, oh yeah, he's serving the Lord. As concerning, therefore, the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, Thanksgiving, for example, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other power but one, the Heavenly Father, Yahawah. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and lords many. There are many gods and there are many lords, but there's only one Lord of lords and King of kings, and there's only one God, Yahawah, the living God, the living power. But to us there is but one power, Yahawah, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Yahawashi Mashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. He created everything. The book of Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 on down. You can read from verse 9. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge. What knowledge? The knowledge that there's only one God and his son Yahawashi. Not every man knows this, has this knowledge. For some, with conscience of the idol, unto this hour, so until this day, eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. So they really believe, when they're eating it, they really believe, wow, this is for the idol, this is for my fake God. Well, they don't say fake God, but this is for my my entity thing, And their conscience, being weak, is defiled. And your conscience is the thing that you have in your head. A person's moral sense of right and wrong, viewed as acting as a guide to one's behavior. Your conscience is telling you not to do it, but you did it anyway, right? So it says here, but meat commendeth us not to Yahawah. So what does it here mean? What does it mean here? It says to give into another's care and trust, right? So it says here, but basically food doesn't give us to the Heavenly Father. The faith brings us there, and he takes us if he wants to. Now it says here, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. So it doesn't matter about the food, right? For our power, Yahawah. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. So now you got to be careful, because let's say somebody just comes in the truth, right? And then he sees you eating with Edomites or whatever. I would not advise that. I would not do that shit. Holding hands or whatever. Get the hell out of here. I would not do that shit. I'll tell you right now, I would not do that. But let's say you with your family with Jakes, right? And we don't have Thanksgiving here. This is Europe. We don't do that garbage over here. But I was just giving an example because you have some people that emulate it here in Holland. Some people do it. But then anyway, let's go on. Let's say you with a family of Jakes, right? And then let's say your uncle or your grandmother, whatever, your cousin, they invite you to go eat. And you just sitting here as an Israelite, with the hair. I'm going to take this one with the hair. You're just sitting there, you're eating. And then somebody in the window, an Israelite that just came in the truth, he looking at you, he's seeing you eat there. And his conscience being weak, believing that there's some kind of God that is real, you can destroy him. Because the liberty of yours, your liberty, in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, because there's nothing else. Everything is fake. You're just laughing at them like, look at these devils. They eating food offered unto this fake ass island. You can just laugh. But there's liberty of yours, which is this freedom. Statue of Liberty, for example. The state of being free within society. Basically, there's liberty. So yeah, you see the Statue of Liberty. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. Weak in this truth, weak in this faith, new in this truth, new in this faith. And then they see you eating, for example, at a they see you at a shawarma tent, eating shawarma and stuff like that. And we all know that these people, when they slaughter their food, they pray to their Allah. So when you eat their food, you're actually doing abomination type things. Remember that when they slaughter the lamb and stuff like that, or the goat, just a lot of their foods, when they slaughter it, they pray over it. Not all of them do it, but some do it. Are you individually going to go around and start questioning them? No, you should not do that, because it's going to explain that you should not do that. You know. But if they say it, like, hey man, when you come here, and just let's say this in the store, this is a store, and he says all foods here are prayed over and sacrificed unto their God Allah. Okay, then you turn around and don't eat there, and it's going to explain it too. But let me just go on. Right, but take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. Sorry. Right, had to go and put some tea on. Sorry about that. Now, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 10. For if any man see thee, which has knowledge, right? So the ones that see you and you have the knowledge, right? Sit at meat in the idol's temple. For example, this is a temple. This is an idol temple, whether you see their gods or not. I'm gonna give you another example where you see their idol temples. Here, Chinese restaurants. And what do you see on the outside? There. Wait for it. Should I type it in? Here, statues. They're statues here. It's one of their idols. It's one of their gods. It's what they do. Because the same things, you have demons on their churches. You have gargoyles. You have this type of things. You have these type of things on their churches. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what did these devils do in your churches? You know? What are they doing there? This is what they're doing. They're doing some demonic type things in there. You know? Kitty porn. All they did type of crazy stuff. Right, so it's the same thing here. They got them demon dogs. Chinese restaurants, demon dogs. You might think it's fake, but it's not. Demon dogs, dog statues. Well, here. Food dogs. What is a food dog? Chinese guardian lion. So our guardian is Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, right? And their guardian is then these so-called lions. Look like a bunch of demons to me, but hey, whatever though. But they're dogs, whatever. This is lion dogs, a food dog. Food dog. Guardian lion. Shishi. Lion-like creature seen across breadth of art ranging. They're full of meaning, but on a guardianship. Well, we don't need that, but that's one of their idols. That's one of the things that they use to basically, you know. I'm just giving an example of just one thing, because they have Buddhas all up in there somewhere in that restaurant. But let me just go on, right? Shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? Right, because when they see you, a man of knowledge, sit in a temple, like these Chinese restaurants, so for example, eating food offered unto their idols, you eat at the shawarma tent, for example, and stuff like that. You know, you eat at these places where it is known that we know that these people they worship their God. and they butcher the food in the name of their God. So when you eat it, guess what? It's offered unto their God. But are you going to ask them? No, you should not. Because we know it is not real anyway. They make it real, whether they say it or not. Sorry, I mean they believe that it's real. Whether they tell you of it or not, they still did it. It's like pissing in a cup and then giving somebody. Just because you don't tell them that it's a little bit of pee in there, a piss in there, doesn't mean that there's no piss. He doesn't know it. So to him, there's no piss in there. But there is, man. For verse 11. And through thy knowledge, right? The knowledge that you have of what knowledge? The knowledge that there is only one Yahawah. And there is no other God. That knowledge, right? And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Yahawashi died. But when ye sin so against the brethren, and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Mashiach. Ye sin against Yahawashi. Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend. So, if eating here will offend your brother, then you will not eat there. And especially not in his sight. You might do it behind his back, but that doesn't mean you're sneaking around. That just means like you don't want to destroy his weak conscience, because he doesn't understand that there is nothing. Verse 4, as concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other power but Yahawah, but one, which is Yahawah. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be many, as there be gods many, and Lord many, but to us Hebrew Israelites there is but one power, one God, the Father, Yahawah, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahawashi Mashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. You see? So it's only one, because there are none. But for the brother's sake, the weaker brother's sake, don't eat in his presence as if that idol is something, because you might destroy him. Because he will really think like, you will embolden him to go sit down and eat food offered unto idols, unless you explain him this scripture. And if he's still weak, then bear with him and just don't eat in front of him the things that that these people offered unto idols. But now, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. Now check this out. Now it says here, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. Meaning, for example, what is lawful? This is lawful. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So according to the Bible, a sodomite is to be put to death. But we don't do that. It is lawful, but it's not expedient. It doesn't help you. It actually works against you, because convenient and practical, although possible, immoral or improper or immoral. Right. Putting in order, expedient. Basically, it's not suitable or appropriate of an action, which is suitable. It is suitable. This appropriate, but then it's not. It isn't expedient for you. Meaning, you're gonna have bad effects. You're gonna be put to jail for examples and stuff like that. So we don't do that. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Right. For example, Leviticus 20 and 14. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burned with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. Are you going to do this? Because I know dudes that be having sex with the mother and the daughter. The daughter first and then the mother. because they start to get up in the home. The mother sees them, wants to take the boyfriend from the girl, daughter, because she think like I'm sexy and young also. She got everything she learned from me. I can do it better, stuff like that. Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So once you see a witch, you're actually supposed to be putting them to death. But you have many witches nowadays. They openly profess that they do magic. If you have a Ouija board and you know people that have Ouija boards, guess what? That's a witch in the making. It doesn't matter. You do witchcraft, you do magic, you're supposed to be put to death because the Lord said, do not go to familiar spirits. You know, you will be cut off. Right, so it says Leviticus 19 and 31 here. Regard not them that have familiar spirits. Regard. What does regard mean? Basically, acknowledge them. Consider or think of in a specific way. Look on. Attention to or concern for something. Basically, don't acknowledge them. Don't give them no attention. You know. Let me see. Yeah, don't respect them. Don't esteem them. Right. Regard not them that have familiar spirits. Neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am Yahawah, thy power, your power, your God. And it says also it will cut you off. But you can read the whole chapter for yourself. It was Leviticus 18. It has to say it somewhere. Right. So it is, but all things are lawful, but all things edify not. A lot of things don't edify. For example, genealogy is lawful, but it's not really doesn't really edify you. For example, what a unicorn is, it's not really edifying. But we know a unicorn just means one horn, so it's not a freaking horse. The definition of a unicorn, for example, goes back to the word uni, which means single, and corn, which means horn. Unicorn. And it's not a horse. Esau is the devil. He's a true demon. It's not a horse, because if you type in a Siberian unicorn, then you will get this. And then you strip the unicorn away from its hair. You strip the hair away from the unicorn, then you have this. Then you would have this. And what does this look like? It looks like a rhino. Okay, then you see these type of rhinos, right? And you see them bald. This is the African rhino, by the way. These are the African rhinos, by the way. But then you have the bronze one, which is in India, if I'm correct. In India, let me see, the Indian rhino. Here. Then you will see a whole different type of, this is the India rhino. Look like he has a suit on. But then you have the Asian rhino. No, wait a minute. Here, this one I'm looking for, which is the hair. Yeah, you have this one here, the Asian rhino, and they're more, think, friendly or something. But let me just type this in. And then hairy rhino, right? This is real. This is not photoshopped. This is one of them Asian rhinos. And then you have this little tiny rhino. You can see the little hairs on his body. Then you have this bronze type rhino, which is, you can see the hair on his body again. And here you have the hairy rhino again with the hair and stuff like that. And then, of course, you have this one over here, which is the same, the little tiny one. And then you have this one over here. Look at this rhino. He literally has hair on his body, which shows you that, look, for example, here also, you can see the hair on because of the mud. You can see it very clear. Here you can see the hair also. Here you can see it, the hairy rhino, for example. Here you can see it again. And our people are not used to seeing hairy rhinos because, yeah, they don't show you that on National Geographic Channel. They show you only the African rhinos and stuff like that. And then like I said, this one is a Sumatran rhino, Sumatran. They're kind of brownish. You got gray ones too, but hairy. They don't like showing off the hairy ones. It's just funny as hell. But it goes back to which is a very powerful animal. In the scriptures, it is known as a very strong animal, because King David was talking about it, and make my horn as the horn of a unicorn. The power of, sorry, let me go read it. Where is it? Psalms? No, yes, it is Psalms. Yes, Psalms 92 and 10. But my horn shalt thou, the Heavenly Father, my is King David, but my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. You see, but my power thou shalt exalt like the horn of a unicorn, which goes into one of those animals. There's a lot of unicorns. Unicorn means just one horn. So there's a lot of them. You got this type, and then you have this type, which is more like a rhino. This one is more like, I have no idea what type of animal that would actually resemble, but yeah. I have an idea, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know. It's just an extinct animal going on. Right, so when, yeah, it doesn't benefit you from that. It doesn't really edify. You can learn something from it, but it doesn't edify in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, his salvation. That's the point, right? It edifies in other things, like, oh, now I know what this is and what that is, and now I know not to believe in this nonsense that these devils would be teaching in their cartoons and movies and all the way over the place, because they devils. That's what they do. They lie to you. That's what they do. If there wasn't a liar on the planet Earth, then what? They're supposed to lie. But the Heavenly Father said, we shall be known as a city of truth. So once we have them in captivity, where is it again? Zechariah? Yeah, Zechariah. Zechariah 8 and 3. Thus saith Yahawah, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. So we're going to be called the city of truth, and we're going to be called the mountain of the Lord. And the mountain is the summit, which is what they have. The summit meeting, or just summit, is an international meeting of heads of state or government. So when they have a summit, they have different nations, the heads of their countries and nations and stuff like that, come together. But with us, we're only going to have this. We are going to be the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And then we are going to be the summit, the mountain of the Lord. So let me just speed this up. 1 Corinthians 10 and 24. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. What does this go into? It goes into, for example, Romans 15 and 1. We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak, because it was also talking about the weak in 1 Corinthians 8. And here it goes into it too, but then through precepts it goes into it. So going on now, it says here, and not to please ourselves, right? Not to please yourselves. Help the weaker brothers that are weak in the faith, right? Well, for this case, it's infirmities, but it also happens to the faith. And, right. Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. So please your neighbor to edify him in the scriptures. for example. Also in things of life, life coach. You could be a life coach because a lot of our people don't have a father, don't have a coach that is telling them what to do. And even if you have, even if you have a father, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, his wisdom is really gonna set you up for real good. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, straight. He's gonna set you straight, and you want to stand up, straight up. For even Yahawashi pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproach of them that reproached thee fell on me. So he took our pain. That's mentioned in the book of Isaiah chapter 53. You can read that for yourself. I don't want to go up in it right now. It's straightforward. It doesn't need no breakdowns. This whole chapter is about Yahawashi, because it says here, for example, Isaiah 53 and 5, but he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. So the reproaches fell upon him, right? The chastisements of our peace was upon him. The beatings of our peace was upon him, right? The chastisement means beating. Whiplashes, by whipping, to punish severely. This is not chastisement. This is telling your son, this is just stupid. They're always trying to downplay words anyway. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So you can read the whole chapter. He was rejected. For John chapter 1, for example, he was rejected. So it says, the reproach fell upon me. Okay. Now it says here, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Let me see. Right. Yeah, going back over here. Right, so it says here, that is the precept on this thing, very first. Whatsoever is sold in shambles, that eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. So this is a shamble. What is a shamble again? This is a shamble, for example. Shamble, a state of total disorder. You mean to tell me that this is not total disorder? Here it is. Let's say this is a Jake neighborhood, or you have a Chinese restaurant in right. You got Chinese restaurants in so-called Jake neighborhoods and stuff like that, and they write in Chinese, stuff like that. You got their stores in our neighborhoods, and not only them, you got Arab stores in our neighborhoods and stuff like that. You gotta ask yourself, like, it don't make no damn sense actually. Why are we eating their food? Why are they serving us? Because we are under the curses, according to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. The dogs feed upon us, lick our sores, and we serve our enemies for want of all things: food, clothing, housing, job, gadgets, telephone, for example, television, shoes. I already said that for clothing, but then going on and stuff like that, right? Where was I? Here, right? Whatsoever is sold in shambles, that eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. So, actually, I shouldn't have done that. Here. So, whatsoever is sold in shambles, just eat it. This is all confusion anyway. It's confusing. The great confusion is the fact that we eat our enemy's food, whether you turn it or not. He might be friendly against you, but his whole race is not. Just because one Arab or one Caucasian male Edomite, just because one Asian, just because one Japanese or Chinese likes you, doesn't mean that now the rest of their race likes you too. They hate your guts. Remember that. Right, so going on. Now it says here, for the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, meaning everything that's on the earth is of the Lord. If any of them that believe not, so if an unbeliever bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go. So I got time. Whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. Yeah, just so here it is, one that believe not. For example, that Thanksgiving dude. Let's say one of your Israelite relatives or just friends. He doesn't really believe in the Bible. He just asks you like, "Hey man, can you come to my Thanksgiving? You know, since you were alone on Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? I always see you alone on Thanksgiving, and you look like a cool dude. I want to introduce you to the fam and stuff like that, to the rest of my fam, because you already know my mother and my father, but you already know everybody. I want you, maybe my cousin, my female cousin, you know what I'm saying? Want to, you know what I'm saying? Hook you up, something like that. Just an example. And he bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go. Whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showeth you, not for your own, for his sake, because he gonna talk chitter chatter about you. But it goes on. So it says, for his sake show it you, right? And for conscience sake. So also for your own sake, because not the reason that you're, wait, let me say it good. For your conscience sake, just because you be like, I don't want this guy talking chitter chatter about me, because I know that your God ain't real. So it's not really for you, but it's actually also for you to back you up. Be guiltless, blameless. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Right. For the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Right? Conscious, I say, not thine own, not your own conscience. Sorry. Wait. So, yeah. Sorry. Wait. Right. For conscience sake. Here it says conscience. Yes, that's why I explained. It's actually not for you. It's for them. Right. 29. Conscious, I say, not thine own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? Right. Not for your sake you do. Not for, wait. For his sake you're doing it, but not for your own conscience. Cause like, oh, no. It's because he's going to talk smack about you, man. And then you be asking stuff like, why is my liberty in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi questioned by a beast like you? You have no God. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Just to avoid problems, I'm not going to eat it in front of you, man, because I'm not going to do that anyway. It's filth to me. You're filth. Your God is filth. Everything about you is filth. I want you to know it. But you have to understand, I actually don't believe in your God. What is worse? Me calling your God filth, or me knowing that your God ain't real? Like, it's not real. So, just to keep the peace, you'd be like, nah, I'm not going to eat it. Just because you said so. That's why. You don't have to cuss him out. Because I know I want to do that. But anyway, verse 30. For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of? He gonna talk shit about you. For that, for which I give thanks. So when you give me that food, that nonsense food of yours, I will pray over it. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Can you bless this meal for me? Wash away all the filth of their babblings. My Lord is that powerful. I can just disannul or cancel your prayer. Your prayer, I just cancel it. Lord, can you cancel this beast on food for me? It looks good. I'm actually hungry. I haven't eaten in a day or two. So yeah, getting hungry. Right. So going on. So it says, because it says here 31, which I give thanks. Right. So it says here, whether therefore ye eat or drink, or whatsoever ye do all in the glory of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So when they ask you, do you want to have Thanksgiving chicken or whatever, you be like, yeah, man, it's good. You can put yeah, I just eat it, man. It's great. It sounds good. It looks great. It says it looks tasty. I'll eat it. It's all good. Then you just eat it. But you pray over it, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Get these demons off of there. I don't want no stomach ache. And then you just do that. And the Most High bless you. Because that's what he do. That's what he does. 32. Give none offense. neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of Yahawah. Right. Don't give no offenses, So don't be disrespectful. Don't eat it in offering to an idol. That's also an offense. Yeah, you don't have to, let them know, like, listen, I'll stand here today to tell y'all that y'all God ain't shit. I ain't holding hands with none of you motherfuckers because I hate your guts. But I'll eat your food. You don't need to do that. That's actually very disrespectfully stupid. But I will tell you that I would never eat this because I see blood. I see blood. I can just see it from here. I see this picture. And I see that it is raw. This nigga bitch about to eat that like he's like, oh, it didn't even see you. But anyway, I would not eat that. I think this is pork anyway. I don't know what it is, but it looks raw to me. It looks like an let me see. It looks like some steak tartare. No, this look even rawer. Let me see. Steak done this chart. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, this one. It looks like this, or even this. Nah, not even that. Actually, it did. Yeah, it looked like. Let me see. Let me try to big it up. You know what? It doesn't get bigger. You know what? I'm gonna leave it. I will leave it. But then, yeah, maybe I'll try this one. No, it doesn't work. Does it work? Nah, it doesn't work. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that. Basically, it's like this. I would not eat that. I would not eat that. So I would respectfully decline. But the rest, I'll eat this. I'll eat this. I'll eat this, this. Yeah, about anything else except this too. Except for this thing. I'm not eating that. That's against the scriptures. Eating raw meat. Get out of there. So right. So you respectfully that, and basically don't give them no offense. And what are the offenses? By the ones that are in the truth, you don't. What are the offenses? These are the offenses. Sorry. For example, this is one of the offenses, and also don't eat it in front of, like, don't disrespect the ones that know the truth, because if they see you and they be like, and they don't know that you think like this, like the liberty of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, they're gonna be like, hey man, why you freaking eating Thanksgiving, man? What's wrong with you, man? And then you show them this scripture, so they are not offended. And then the Gentiles, you don't offend, because those are the ones that came in the truth and are weak, so you don't offend them with this one, verse 13, right? And then the other one, where is it again? No, to the church of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, which are the people that are in the church, and you don't disrespect them, right? Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. Right, because the fact that we're doing these videos is actually, we're not doing it for our own profit. We're doing it for yours. Because if these videos wasn't out there in the world, how would you know what you are? Starting with the elder apostles on down in Great Millstone in America, how would we know what we are? We wouldn't. The Most High needed to come and wake us up through His word. And that's how we do. And now we're going into things of food and stuff like that. So, and then you have, sorry, then you have the book of Acts chapter 15 verse. I'll 8 until 11, and then I'll read this one. Now it says here, chapter 8. Sorry, man. Acts chapter 15, verse 8. And Yahawah, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost, even as He did unto us. Because so the Israelite foreigners got it too. and put no difference between us and them, because we're both Israelites from the same stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, purifying their hearts by faith, right? Now, therefore, why tempt ye Yahawah to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? And that yoke is the law. It's very hard to keep the laws. But these suckers, they wanted to actually force people to keep the law. You shouldn't do that, because our fathers couldn't even keep the law. What we do is we keep the law to the best of our ability, and we try it. But if you make mistakes, then the grace of Yahawashi will come and help you, because according to Hebrews chapter 10, if you read the whole chapter, you will find it somewhere. It says that back in the days, you died if you broke the law. How much more will you die when you break Yahawashi, when you disrespect Yahawashi? Here, verse 29. Right. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. But yeah. And how much more will you be punished for disrespecting, for stepping on the Lord Yahawashi? But he is the Spirit of grace. And the Spirit of grace will give you grace for breaking the law. Right. Verse 11. But we believe that through the grace of the Lord Yahawashi, Mashiach, we shall be saved, even as they. So through the grace, the Spirit of grace is Yahawashi, and through the grace of Yahawashi we will be saved, even if we do break laws. Because if you break one, you broke them all. Verse 20, but that we write unto it. Now it says here, verse 19, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to Yahawah, which are the Israelite foreigners, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols, and from fornication, which is unlawful sexual things, and worshiping of idols, and from things strangled, and from blood. So don't murder, and don't drink blood, because it says in what is it again? Suffer not. Yeah. First Peter chapter 4, verse 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Don't be a person that is always into somebody else. You're meddling. Yeah, Proverbs. It wasn't like Proverbs 26 and 17. He that passeth by, right, and meddleth with the strifes belonging not to him, is like one that taketh a dog by the ears. Do that with a pit bull. See what happens to you. Like a pit bull, right? Grab him. Grab him by the ear and shake him. See what happens to you. That's what you're doing when you're meddling with somebody's business, man. Eventually, that person is going to snap on you, and you're going to get what you deserve. You know what I'm saying? There's one time, I saw it a few times. There's one time I saw this girl acting up against her male, her boyfriend, whatever. And she was all loud and shit, right? And she got smacked. And she was quiet. And I looked at it, and she looked at me like, hey, you gonna say something? I was like, with my eyes, I said no. I looked at him and I was like, you probably acting tough right now. I bet your ass when you went home, you would never do that. And he lost control because he was like, if you was at home, you would have never done that shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I'm going to smack you in front of all these people just to show you I mean business. And she was quiet. But I was thinking in my head like, yeah, whatever. You probably did something for you to get smacked like that. I don't know what you did, but you pissed them off. Why are you acting all tough and stuff like that? Just act normal, and most of the time these guys won't smack you. You know, most of the time a guy smacks a girl or beat the shit out of them, both of them, because they did something. You just don't go randomly beating on people. And if you do that, then you a demon, man. You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked. But if you do it, I wouldn't do it. But if you do it, I don't care. It's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to grab I don't know what they did. You know, you see two people fighting on the street. There's a lot of people that I saw this guy. What way was it? Was it fighter? Stabbed. It was this fighter. Yeah, this guy. He was stabbed to death. It was in March 2025, 2021. He was stabbed to death because he thought he tough. He was tough in the ring. He tough, right? He tough, right? So he's beating up people, of course. But when a person has a weapon and you don't know, you might die. You know what I'm saying? I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the fact that that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because he was fighting. He was beating up people and stuff like that. But the point is, Alan, whatever his name is, stabbed to death, age 31, in horrific restaurant brawl before brother kills suspected attacker. Okay, they're both dead, but this is the fun part. If he would have mind his business, you know, but he trying to save the day. You know, he's a fighter. He think he could take him on. He probably could, but did not know that that guy had a knife. So basically what he did was he meddled in something he shouldn't have been meddling in. And then he basically symbolically he grabbed a dog, grabbed this dog by the ear. See what happens to you. Let's see if you're really that tough. You're a strong dude, right? Who's the greatest fighter now? This guy. Right. Where is he? Hey, this guy here. He's not that big. Heavyweight. Let me see. Heavyweight. I can see them. No, I don't see them. I think this guy. This one. I'm looking for him. Right, him. Let me see him go grab a dog like this. He might beat him up. He might. I don't know. If he hit him good, I don't know. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't think. What? This? What? This one? I even smack him, man. I smack him out. I'll run him. You know what I'm saying? What could he do? He look out of weight. He look out of shape. Overweight. But this one? You know, dogs that fight, what's the name of lions? What's that name again? There's a dog breed that fight this one, if I'm correct. Illegal. They're illegal in certain countries. I think it's this one. This one. This one is the one I'm looking for. Yeah, this one. The biggest Kangal dog. These dogs they bite harder than I think all dogs that they measured, whatever. But that's not accurate because Esau doesn't test all dogs. He just tests a few of them and then he decides what the rest should be according to him. He ain't shit. They're not as smart as you think. In Europe and in Sweden, they're illegal. These dogs. No, wait a minute. A list of the banned dogs. Kangal's banned. Hey, this one, but no, I'm looking for another one. But yeah, biggest dogs. Let me just the last one. He's one of the dangerous ones. This one looks like a bear. He just looks like a bear. Yeah, it is this one. This one is what I was talking about. These one are very dangerous, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't look that dangerous, but they're dangerous. This one, I think, it was the Argentino Dogo or something. This one. These are very dangerous, my man. They have a strong bite. They bite very, very hard. But anyway, I don't see like the toughest human beings fighting these type of dogs. You know what I'm saying? You have people that can beat up dogs. Of course, I believe that, man. There's some strong people up on the planet Earth. But then, you shouldn't try that on a daily basis. Fighting dogs, man. You see this right over here? This is not something you want to mess with, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. If I had my spiritual power, I'd beat the stuff inside. I wouldn't even beat the dog, man. I would just tell him, like, hey, what are you doing? Attack your owner. And the dog will listen to me. Believe me, they will. If I had that spiritual power. But I don't. So, right. Anyway, so basically, that's it. I would have stopped in 44 minutes, just like the last video, which was 44. But I kept on rambling about the dog, so sorry about that. So is that. So with that, I'm saying, yeah, look cute now. Soon you're gonna be like this. It's the same way that these Edomites see us. You know, when we small, that's why they killed all the sons the Israelite sons in Egypt. That's why they murdered the sons, by the way, because they know this little cute thing over here is finna be this dangerous looking thing over here. But and this is a female, by the way. But still, you know what I'm saying, with a back like this, I don't think you really want to actually fight that dog, man. It's not. Yeah, you probably have some scars after that, even if you win, which I don't think you will. But like I said, you have people on this earth that are very strong. So I do believe that. But then, you know, if they hit him a good hit, it might kill him, knock him out, whatever. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.